Recognised for the incredible success both here and on European soil in the band Walking on Cars comes the awaited solo sound of the former frontman Pa Sheehy, gifting us for the last 3 years with the refined sound of a passionate worker and a glowing resume. Strap yourselves in as we get to talk with the legend himself about his sound, his latest single and things to come. First off, Pa, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us.
Not at all, man. Thanks for having me on. How are you?
Absolute pleasure, man. Look, I'm delighted to get into this. And look, I have to break the ice, and it's going to be breaking the ice with some ice cream. Don't ask me why, but this has become the staple question that we ask. People enjoy this. Pa, let's take you to a lovely day. You've earned a good dessert for yourself. Maybe you're working hard in the studio. Whatever it could be, you go to a restaurant and you see a menu that just makes you giddy with dessert choices. Which would be your favourite dessert to pick?
Favourite dessert?
Mm-hmm.
Man, I always go for the classic sticky toffee pudding, man.
Sticky toffee.
You can't go wrong. Yeah, you're so full from the dinner, you do not need this in your system. But man, you just have to go for it.
Yeah, you couldn't pick a lighter dessert, but I love it. I absolutely love it. Would you find yourself to be more of a morning or night person, Pa?
I'd be more of a night person.
Okay. Is that getting work done, or you just find yourself not being able to sleep, so you'd watch a bit of Netflix or something?
I'm just not a good morning person. I find is I have to really, really be in good shape to kind of get up at 8 and be productive. So I kind of come alive at night then.
Fair. I mean, that's the joys of being a musician, Pa. Generally, there's not a lot of demand for the early morning start. It's when the night, that's when you're really to come alive. So fair play. You roll the dice well on that one. If you could be an opening act for any artist or band, then or now, who would it be?
So I'm obsessed with Kings of Leon these days. I just think they're unbelievable.
Yeah?
So I'd have to go for Kings of Leon, yeah.
Man, Pa Sheehy opening up Kings of Leon or vice versa, I would be down for that concert for sure. Right, let's get into the heart of this bad boy, the meat of it. We've had our little dessert. We're going backwards on this main course here. I know it might feel like a lifetime ago, but can you take us back to 2020 when Walking on Cars decides to hang up the band-aid of things? Did it feel only natural that you were going to keep the music going after the band, or was it a discovery that you made sometime after that?
I guess I'd always been writing music and writing songs as like a late teenager and into my early 20s, so it was kind of just a natural thing. The band kind of fizzled out. I feel like the magic we had at the beginning was kind of gone, so it was a really, really kind of tough decision to kind of make.
Right.
But once the decision was made, I don't know, in my mind, everything just felt much clearer, and I knew exactly what I needed to do and what I wanted to be.
Okay, so it was in no way daunting or scary going suddenly like 11 years working with a team of songwriters and musicians to then suddenly being yourself. You were actually quite excited by the prospect.
I was like, as daunting as it is, I was definitely excited. And obviously there's pros and cons to doing things on your own, but the pros outweigh the cons, and I suppose I'm just really happy with my decision, and just really happy to be making music again.
Exactly, and it certainly seems to be. I mean, June 2021 saw you at a funeral, your debut solo song. Only a month later in August you released Roisin, and then a month later your debut EP, The Art of Disappearing. You definitely seemed like a man who was very happy to be behind the microphone.
Yeah, look, I love gigging. I love making music, and that's just part of my DNA. It's all I know. It's what I do. I suppose over the last kind of couple of years, I've kind of had a chance to kind of reflect on what I wanted to sound like. I suppose with the band, we were always very much, we had our formula, and that's what we did, and it was brilliant. But I always felt like I needed to do something a bit different and a bit more experimental. I guess I just felt like there was more out there. And with this next kind of release that I have coming up, I feel like it's all in there, and people can realise what it was all about.
What a fantastic segue, because we were going to go from there. I will do a quick little pit stop in 2023. Your EP, Lost in a 90s Arcade, that was our EP album of the week when you brought it out. Fantastic EP. Let us talk about first the very last release that you brought out, Towards the Water, towards the end of June. Genuinely, I really enjoyed this track, as so many did. Like, it had such a cruising, window down, nostalgic feel. It was wrapped in that indie pop rock synth and guitar style. There's a lot to love with this song, Pat, but describing the track, you mentioned how you were recalled being lost in your early 20s and wanting to run away, and that was very much an inspiration for the song. Do you think the Pa in his early 20s would believe the Pa of today if he told him what was going to happen?
Probably not. I think when you're back there and you don't know how to navigate the music industry and you don't know where your break is going to come from, it's very hard to see it.
Yeah.
So this song is kind of just goes back and tries to capture the essence of diving into the unknown, like choosing something as a path and a career and not knowing whether it's going to work out or not. When all your friends and everybody else is going to college and kind of getting normal jobs, and you're like, I'm actually going to try it. Let's see what's over here.
And that's scary, isn't it? Because like the rest of the world seems to be following this routine, right? The college straight into work, whatever it could be. And yet artists, and in this case yourself, you're thinking, that's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the complete opposite. Did you know anybody at the time who was kind of succeeding in this career, or were you just driving yourself forward?
No, there was like no one in the town that had really kind of gone that way. But I suppose even as an early teenager, I was always very much a dreamer. So I was always, I suppose, a little bit deluded, and that kind of served me well.
Yeah.
And like even when we recorded our first bunch of songs, I always felt like they were going to be on the radio because I really believed in them. And a lot of people around me were like, how do you think we're going to get on the radio? I was like, I don't know, but I just feel like these songs deserve to be on the radio. Then it's just all going to happen then. It was just, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, geez, it must nearly feel like a blur. I mean, as we say, that is the past. Like the track that you brought, Towards the Water, do you feel like from 2021 until now there was a lot to learn and you're executing on those things that you've learned as a solo act? Or does, again, this just feel totally natural? This, like, how long was this song in the back of your head for?
This whole process, there was lots of ups and downs and figuring it all out, because I suppose even the music industry itself has changed dramatically since I first started. Like, it's so very social media based now, whereas before it was just like, make a great song, try and get on the radio.
Exactly.
And we'll go on tour. And now it's very much social media based, and it's to do with streaming instead of CD sales, and like the whole industry is completely on its head. Yeah. So I've had to kind of figure it out a little bit. And there's been times where I'm like, I made a terrible mistake. Because there's so much in it that I'm still trying to figure out. And I've changed management, I've changed labels, I've been dropped by management, I've dropped by agents. So there's been loads of ups and downs on this journey. But what I have to show for it is this record and the first song, Towards the Water, I'm so proud of. And I feel like it's a good signal as to where I'm at in my life at the moment. It's a very kind of go get it at kind of song. And I think people seem to navigate, seem to be drawn towards it.
Definitely Towards the Water, one might say. And I completely agree. When I heard it, I was thinking, this is a fantastic track. And I love, as you say, things have changed. The industry is crazy right now. So off that, if I can just ask you a totally personal question, which do you think offers more opportunity for, let's say, someone like yourself who's finding themselves in a music career, in a solo act? Which do you think is easier, writing a radio hit song and getting it on the airwaves, or the opportunity that maybe you could go viral on TikTok or whatever it could be?
I suppose for me, I don't understand TikTok. I don't understand how.
Many don't.
I really don't. But like for me, from the start of my career, I've been upset. Like I was just always obsessed with how radio hits were made. So my big inspirations as like my early 20s was One Republic, The Script. That kind of world. So those with like Ryan Taylor and Danny and the lads from The Script were just unbelievable at making great pop songs. And so I just study their songs to death. And that's where I got a lot of my ideas and my structures. So that's what I know. And the other side of things, I do not know.
Yeah, fair enough. And look, great examples to work off. It's clearly a formula that works, and it's clearly working for you right now. Towards the Water, an example of that. Let's talk about this track to come that you alluded to there. What can we expect?
So I've got an album coming out, and it's got 14 tracks on it, and the first track is Towards the Water, and the next single is out in 2 weeks' time, and along with the announcement on the dates, and we're going on tour again. It's going to be unbelievable. So we've got a huge year of plans ahead of us. So excited for what's to come.
Yeah, I mean, look, if this is the first track we're getting off the album, sign me up. I am there. Take my name, take my blood type, whatever you want. Getting this album into my system for sure. New single dropping in 2 weeks. Immediately, there is the Annam Festival on July 13th, excuse me. Is that is that the next event where people will be able to catch you live before the tour begins?
Yeah, so there's we've got two more festivals this summer. One is in Tralee, the Annam Festival, and then we've Forest Festival up in County Laois. And then it's all about just promoting the record and seeing how far we can take that.
Excellent. You're coming to our home turf, County Laois. Have you ever been to Forest Fest before?
I haven't. So I've seen the lineup. It looks unbelievable.
Yeah,
so
you're in for a good time. I tell you, the Laois people will take care of you for sure. We look after the people who come in and entertain us, which no doubt you will. And actually, I was talking to another artist. We're going to be featuring her track next week on the show, Tanya O. She said that you were in there creating music with her. What was that experience like?
Yeah, Tanya's great. Yeah, we've written a few tunes, and I've produced a few of her songs over the last couple of months, and she's unbelievable. She's like a hidden gem down in Kerry, and I feel like the next year could be really, really big for her. So, yeah, keep an eye out.
Definitely. The song that is dropping, by the way, when this podcast comes out, it'll be July 12th is when that's going to be dropping. It's a song called I Still Look For You. So keep your eyes on Tanya O's Spotify, Instagram, the whole lot. And of course, Pa Sheehy. Pa, where can we find you on all of these social media platforms that you're on?
I'm on everything, man. I have my website, www.pasheehy.com, and then I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Twitter, I joined Threads. I'm on everything, man. I'm there.
It's the generation, man. You got to get into it 100%. So off of that, I feel like you are one of the greatest minds that we can go to right now in the industry, and I hope you don't mind my asking, when it comes to like solo acts, bands that are starting now, from what you've learned and from what you're still learning today, what advice can you give to a new act or a new band to try and become as successful as Pa Sheehy or as a band as Walking on Cars?
The advice I would say, for me, the advice I took from day one was always get the music right. I feel like you can be a cool band, you can look well, but if the music isn't brilliant, it's not going to go anywhere. So get the music right and worry about the other stuff after.
Exactly. Fair. That's great advice, as they say. If the track is good, people are going to come listen to it, right? And then let the rest happen from there. Pa, an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. I am so excited. As you say, all of the details are going to drop for the album in the coming weeks. 2 weeks' time, we get the very next solo single dropping from the album. So excited. And of course, a tour on the future. Pa, hopefully we'll be talking again. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much, man. Have a great day.